and you're very welcome to this very special mini Olympic series here on the Women's Rugby Pod. I'm Johnny Hammond, and we have got a bumper show for you today and next week as well. Today, we'll be looking ahead, of course, to all the action in the next couple of days over in Tokyo. We get right inside the GB camp with their co-captain, Abbie Brown. We'll look through all the pools, all the important players and teams, all in the company of a Wales 15s and 7s legend, Shona Powell-Hughes. Shona Powell-Hughes, in you come then. How are you?
Oh, after that introduction, I'm really good. Say legend one more time.
How have you been? What have you been up to? Before we get into the meat and drink of today's pod, what have you been up to?
Well, the world's obviously slowly getting back to, I want to say normal, that's not normal. So yeah, just back full-time in work now and pushing on and obviously seeing the family and stuff. So it's been great to sort of get some normality back.
Because your job with the WI is very, very hands-on, is it community-based? So you have been literally twiddling your thumbs, aside from buying various backpacks for your running. Some people made very good use of their lockdown and got super fit like you. But yeah, you really have been twiddling your thumbs. So it must be just brilliant to be back out there. And you're such a personable person anyway.
Yeah, it's great to be back out. I was at one of the camps today, seeing a lot of young girls back on the rugby field, just enjoying and having fun. So it's great to see lots of smiles on faces and lots of more rugby balls in sight. Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, yeah, we've seen the lines going on, haven't we? And of course, it reminds me of that sort of GB feel that we've got with the sevens guys and girls. We see that culmination of the men's tournament. GB just missing out on the bronze. Just give us your impression of that game. They'll clearly be disappointed, but I think Argentina on the balance of play probably deserved it.
Yeah, I think Argentina have been playing well. If you just look at how they performed, being down a player also, and then just anything can happen in a game of 7. So you really have to be so switched on for the whole time that you're playing. And unfortunately, it wasn't GB's day. So they will be thoroughly disappointed. But
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, indeed so. And it's such fine margins, isn't it? So the men in Rio, GB 17 came away with bronze, didn't they? And the women just missed out to Canada for 4th. Perhaps it's switched round this time. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into that GB camp. And Abbie Brown, the co-captain, I caught up with her just a few days ago. Abbie Brown, GB Sevens captain, and number one. That must sound great. But thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Sat in my room in Tokyo, looking out to the till the flashing lights is pretty cool and kind of a bit unreal. But yeah, super cool. And we head into the village tomorrow. So yeah, just buzzing to be here, to be honest with you.
Awesome, Abbie. Konnichiwa, we probably should have said, shouldn't we?
Konnichiwa. Indeed.
How is your Japanese? Is that coming on nicely?
It's coming along. Joyce is doing a word of the day. Today I think it was bus, which is bass. So that was quite an easy one.
Happy days. And what's tomorrow? Yeah. Pizza?
Something like that. Yeah. So yeah, we learned a few things. Hi, bye, thank you. Yeah, just kind of learning a bit of the culture is actually quite nice, and I think it's quite respectful when you go to different places actually to learn a little bit of their language.
And very different over there. So you're with the World Cup and what have you. It's really quite a different culture over there. So you have got to somewhat immerse yourself in it to get by. So I understand.
Yeah, a little bit. If I'm honest, we haven't really got out much. Okay. We've seen a lot of the hotel. We're at the prep camp at the moment, and we're very secluded because of obviously COVID and stuff like that. So we're haven't been allowed out to explore. So we literally come from the hotel to the training pitch, back to the hotel at the moment. So, which is fine. It kind of is how it is in the world. But yeah, we're seeing some people, but not that many people.
Absolutely. Abbie, there's so much to get into with you, and really appreciate your time. It's evening time there. It's time for your beauty sleep. But look, we'll just have a quick whiz round. What has been an unbelievable 12 months for yourself and the rest of the GB squad. Not only those players that are out there, but those that haven't made it. Just if you've been living under a rock in the rugby world of late, just tell us that journey and just the culmination of excitement actually getting out to Tokyo.
Yeah, so obviously, 12 months ago, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for everyone, I think, with COVID, but especially for us, we kind of lost our funding for our program because of COVID, and then kind of went into the season of able to play 15s, which is great for the girls' side because we just slotted straight back into 15s clubs and, had a really good time doing different sort of code. But for the boys, it was a little bit unfortunate because they didn't have that opportunity. A lot of us found different jobs. I was doing some coaching at school. I think Meg was driving some Amazon lorries for a little while. Like, it was, people were just trying to get by, and kind of, I think reality hit us all very hard in the face. And kind of what next after rugby, which, looking back on it, probably for me personally wasn't ever actually a bad thing. I managed to do a sports massage course in that time. So can I now do that after rugby? What's the kind of the process after that, and kind of giving myself the chance to look at actually what would life be like without a rugby contract. So obviously that happened. We were also very hopeful because obviously the Olympics got moved. We then went into, I think it was March time, the National Lottery came through and said that they wanted to fund us, which a huge thank you to them. Like, genuinely, I don't know how many times I've said it probably in the media, but actually if they didn't come out and fund us, we wouldn't be sat here. We wouldn't have had a program. So yeah, we kind of had a 3-4 month big kind of hit out at Loughborough. There was 22 of us, and now there's down to 13. But the players and all the staff that have played a part of it over the last couple of years, since we qualified out in Kazan in 2019 to now, it's huge. And the amount of people that have kind of been involved in that is, again, it's massive. And I guess without those people and without everyone's efforts, we wouldn't be sat here. I wouldn't be sat in this chair going into Olympic Village tomorrow. So, yeah, huge credit to all of them.
And Abbie, I don't know whether you're that type of person or leader, but have you had a quiet moment just to go, wow, we did it. We're actually here. We're actually at Olympics. I'm captain GB. Have you had a moment to do that, or was that for post-tournament?
Yeah, probably not yet. I think I don't want to think about it too much because I'll probably get a bit ahead of myself. So for me, it's just taking each moment as it comes, and like, I'm enjoying being here. I think all the girls are enjoying it. It's very hot, but I understand it's hot at home. But I heard it's a heat wave at home moment. But I think the thing is we're enjoying each moment, and I don't think it's really hit us. Maybe we're here. Maybe tomorrow going into the village, it might do, because it is a bit of a different feel. But yeah, I think it's definitely one that I'm going to look back on and reflect more of, rather than right now, because at the moment the team doesn't almost need that. It needs, us to stay present and give our best versions of ourselves in that moment.
I'm big on the. Okay, it's annoyed me, but I'm big on the psychology of rugby and doing this physical training, but hardly any mental training, and it seems bizarre to me. But
yeah,
do you think that the build up to this Olympics actually gives you a psychological edge which you didn't have at Rio, to say, do you know what, we've got to really put it in here, what we've been through to get here? Does it give you 100%. An edge, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Like, the amount of resilience and determination and passion that this group has got is like no other I've ever been a part of. And I really do think that highlights, both on and off the field, how close we are as a group. But actually, the amount of times that we've had barriers or we've had to overcome something in the last few years, it's just ridiculous. And I think that's only made us stronger, which is great, because now we're here. And we've just got the fun bit to do. So actually, we've gone through everything. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, we've had the tears along the way, and actually now we can just enjoy it and embrace that moment, because ultimately that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Awesome, yeah, it certainly is. Let's get into life on the ground there. You say you into the village tomorrow, so you've not experienced the cardboard beds just yet.
Not yet.
Have you been to visit at all?
No, not at all. We've
No,
literally
okay.
just been, stuck in this hotel. I say stuck. It's not been a bad setup at all. And we've managed to get out to the stadium, as in our training stadium. So Team GB put up on an awesome show here. Honestly, they treat us like royalty. That's how I would explain it. As soon as you step through the door, everything's done for you. Like everything's branded everywhere. Our prep camp is all the branding. We went to the stadium. It's got like a massive banner of like Team GB. Like that's only where Team GB athletes train. University went to, it's only where Team GB athletes train. And I was saying to someone on the bus on the way to training, I was like, do you think other countries have this? Like, where do Australia train? Where do, I don't know, Brazil train? Where do all these people train? Because obviously we've got all of these facilities and are really fortunate that people have come out early, sorted things out for us. But actually, what do other countries have? And I don't think they have it. So yeah, it's definitely a special group to be a part of.
Awesome. Well, there's nothing less than you guys deserve, the fact you've the journey you've been on. But yeah, it's a big old machine, isn't it? Team GB. So how the squad looking? You say you've been to a training stadium. I know there's been a few bits of social media and stuff. You know, Mo Hunt's very arty, isn't she, with her photographs and kicking and that kind of stuff. I think I saw one of those. But how's everything shaping up? What do sort of regular days look like at the moment for you out there?
Yeah, so we had a real tough day today. So apologies if I'm a bit sleepy, but we basically had one of our more difficult days. I think I was on my hands and knees at the end. So we had that this morning, and then we stayed over there, but then went to for lunch, and then went to a university where we did gym, and then we went to the pool, and then we managed to come back. So we were out. We left here at 9, and we got back at 5:30. So it's quite a long day out, training a lot and being out in the heat and stuff like that. But yeah, to be honest, we've had a chilled day yesterday, and then 2 hard days today, tomorrow, before heading in. But it's a lot of rugby, but it's not like how it was at home. We had desk games and, you know, pushing ourselves to the real limit at home with our hot pods and doing stuff like that, getting us in a good nick to come out to Tokyo. So none of that stuff, but there's still an element of how much rugby can we do? You know, it's about the fine tuning stuff now. It's about how do Russia kick off? How do New Zealand kick off? How do we combat that? What are they like at scrum time? What are they like at lineouts? And kind of just understanding who we're about to go and play, so that we've done all our homework, and when it comes to game time, we just have to execute. And I think that's all part of this bit.
Do you feel you're a little bit behind where you possibly think you should be because of the preparation and the stalled start, as it were?
I wouldn't say so, only because our camps that we've been on have been so intense. We haven't wasted a day, and I think that was key. Like, we went in Monday to Thursday, we trained every single day, rugby almost twice a day, gym, and you know, you came home on a Thursday night and you were shattered. Friday you could barely move because you just worked so hard all week, and being in a camp environment, it's really intense. So you're trying to understand each other off the pitch, you're trying to understand each other on the pitch, and everything that comes along with it. That I genuinely think if we hadn't had those camps, then I'd be sitting here saying, yeah, I think we are underprepared. But like the rest of the world, no one's been playing sevens, so it's not we've missed out on that, which I think is kind of, now it's a level playing field for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's great to hear. I'll get down the bookie this afternoon, pop some money on Team GB. You mentioned the conditions there. You're taking on the fluids quite rightly. What very different out there, and how are you coping with them, and be prepared for them?
So we prepared for them by doing some hot pods back in Loughborough, which are essentially this really hot greenhouse. Some of the hot yoga pods we used, I think, as well. And not really like a real greenhouse, like a plastic greenhouse I'm talking. Had these heaters on, which were like 35 degrees. And we did a watt back session for half an hour. and we all came out of there almost like we'd had a shower. Like, it was gross. So we did that alongside having loads of layers on for training. So I've got a photo somewhere of me and Alex Matthews where we've got our trousers on, I've got underskip, base layer, a jumper, a hat and a mask, and it's sunshine. It's like 18 degrees or something stupid. So we warmed up in our masks when we were at home, and just little things like that, because it's really humid out here. So you get thirsty really quickly. Definitely the heat, you can feel it as soon as you go out, because obviously everything's air conditioned. So as soon as you go out, you just feel it. It's like an oven. It's not as humid as I thought it was going to be, but then saying that today, I was dying. So maybe I'll stop there. But yeah, no, it is very hot, but I think we've spoken as a group that it's going to be hot, and I think that's all you have to do is speak about it and acknowledge it, but not almost dwell on it, because the water's going to be there, the ice towels will be there, the spray's going to be there, the ice cold spray. So, we've got little bits in place where hopefully will cool us down.
No washing up liquid on balls at training, that kind of thing.
No, they were
humidity had it. Oh, there you are. You can have that one, Abbie. Don't worry, that's free.
I might use that, but I think with the rain at home, it was all right.
yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Abbie, just a couple more, because you mentioned it's a hell of a tough day, and it's late back over there. I just wanted to go through, for those possibly listening to Sevens for the first time, it's a really good entry for four people to get into the sport. Just take us through a couple of the characters that we should be looking out for, possibly a couple of the speedsters, one of the forwards. Just take us through a couple of the players that people should be looking out for.
Yeah, so you've got talk about your speedsters. You've got like Jazz Joyce, very fast winger. I think people know her quite well in Wales. She's small, but she's powerful, and she's very quick. She's very hard to stop. And then you've got someone who is as quick, so like a Celia or like a Deborah, who are more physiques are different to Jazz, but yeah, again, unreal athletes, and definitely we need just finishing tries all the time. And then when you move into the middle, you've almost got your playmakers, so like your Meg Jones, your Helena Rowlands, your Holly Aitchins, like people like that who just create something out of nothing. And honestly, I'd admire them every single time they have the ball and they create something, because I'm honestly like, well, I've just ran and scored this, but you literally have done that against like 4 defenders. Like, how have you managed to do it? So yeah, and then obviously you've got your power runners with Alex and Bert, running those hard lines. Yeah, and it's just, I think what's really good about this kind of group is we've got a bit of everything, and no one is the same as anyone else. And I think that's really apparent in our training and what we're doing, is that everyone's got such a key role in the squad that, and we talk about sevens as it's not just 7 people on the pitch, it's 13. And obviously with this new rule, it's going to be, it could be quite interchangeable. So how does everyone from 1 to 13 bring their best A game, but also to the best of their abilities? And I think it's just key that we need every single person. So yeah, it's an exciting group to be a part of, and yeah, I think we're all buzzing to play now as well. So
yeah, just want to get it done. But there's a slight Lions feel to, isn't it? I mean, of course, the chaps are doing Lions and British and Irish Lions going on. Same with Team GB, isn't it? Because you actually had to come together from teams that you may well have been knocking lumps out of. It seems from the outside, and I keep my ear fairly close to the ground with these things, that there's real camaraderie brought out of possibly stuff that we've spoken about earlier on. But that certainly seems to be from the outside. Would that be true to say?
Yeah, 100%. We're, like I said, we're a real close-knit group, and it's really inspiring to see kind of, like Jazz, you got Hannah Smith, you got Tomo, Lisa Thompson from Scotland, and along the journey you've had like Rona Lloyds, Helen Nelson, Hannah Jones from Wales. Like, you've had so many different people that isn't just an England squad, and especially for us English players, I think it's been really good for us to be challenged and be pushed by these other players from Scotland and Wales who are bloody great players. And actually everyone's been pushing themselves, and the culture side of it I'm really passionate about. I'm passionate about the off-pitch stuff, because that's why I play rugby ultimately, like to have these friends for life. And I genuinely think we'll have each other for life, and this journey is is a really special one, and one you probably can't explain to some people because it's been so specific. And I think the fact that everyone has come from their different cultures is inspiring in itself. I mean, yeah, when we watched the football with England, did the Scottish and Welsh girls want us to win? No, they didn't. And I'm still holding on to it. But, it's a good laugh. And I think you need different people. And I think that's what we talk about is those differences. And when you bring your differences, actually, that's added value to the team. And that's really important.
That would be, and if I was a half decent journo, that would be where we'd end the interview, because that was a lovely, lovely answer to wrap things up. But I'm not, I'm shoddy, so I'm going to just give you one more question if I may. Paul, the pools, just generally, Pool A, obviously with yourselves, Kenya, Russia, New Zealand. Pool B, Canada, France, Brazil, Fiji. Pool C, Australia, USA, Japan, and China. Happy with the pool?
Yeah,
can't do much about it, can you? Really?
No, you can't. To be honest,
it's tough, right?
It's quite cliche, but every game is hard in sevens now. It's not, quite a few years ago now. We had an easier game there or thereabouts, but now you don't. Everyone turns up, everyone shows up, and we know what we're getting with our pool. It's physical. It's very physical. Yeah. Especially for the English girls, we've played Russia, New Zealand numerous times, so we know what they're going to bring. And I think what's special about our group is that they don't know us, and they don't know our new style of play. They don't know the people in it, and I think that's actually what's really exciting. So yeah, it's definitely a hard pool, but I don't think anyone's got an easy ride, and I think that's exactly what we want. We don't want anyone to have an easy ride. So yeah, it'll be an interesting pool. Day one will be interesting, and then day two we've got to back it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So go on then. Let's aside from Team GB, who will join them in the final? Because I know you're going to say that. Yeah, so I'll ask you who's going to win it, because you're going to say Team GB. Who are you going to meet in the final?
I think it will be the Kiwis. I think we'll meet New Zealand again.
Okay.
In the final. Yeah.
You heard it here first, people. Abbie, I'm just intrigued. You're above your right shoulder. Is that one of the shirts?
It's a training shirt.
Training. Yeah. Look you up. They are
one of my training shirts. From training. We've had a bit of a washing situation in our bathrooms this evening. So yeah.
Yep. You take the travel wash, don't you? It's not all glamour.
It's not. It's really not. But
Abbie, you seem in really, really good spirits, and I think, as I say, from the outside, squad looking in a really, really good place as well. We wish you every bit of luck. We really, really do. From everyone here at the WRP, go and do your countries proud, but also enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's so
we
special.
will do. We will do. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me as well.
All the best. You take care. Go on.
Thank you.
Shona, they're 8 hours ahead now over in Tokyo. So I hope they're all asleep, tucked up. Just take us through. You've played international rugby, 15s and 7s at major tournaments. What are the feelings that are going through the minds of the players? Not only last night, you're trying to get to sleep, but also in the morning. Just take us through that as an international player.
I think any game that you have the next day in the morning, you're almost so excited because you're trying to visualize what you're going to do and sort of how you're going to make an impact, but also you want to make sure you perform. So you are sort of putting a little bit of pressure on yourself, but at the same time, you've just got to embrace that pressure and sort of turn it into excitement and adrenaline. So I know a lot of those players are probably going to be, so excited. Some of their first sort of Olympics, and you've got some experience in there that's been there before. So you Jazz Joyce. So those players are just going to probably look to those players, those senior players that have been there in that position before, really for guidance and sort of, I'm buzzing for them to play tomorrow. So I can just imagine how they're feeling to get that shirt on and really sort of show the nation what they're made of.
Yeah, you mentioned Jazz there, the Welsh representation within this GB squad. But been any communication across to her over in Tokyo?
Well, When we were in the camp for obviously Wales Sevens, Jazz we've been in contact with them. We've sent them a good luck video from ourselves to, just wish her the best of luck. Mo Hunt, obviously being a Gloucester player also, we'd like to do one of those videos for her. So we're extremely proud and just can't wait for them to take that field tomorrow.
Yeah, it's incredibly special, isn't it? The Olympics, playing in the Olympics. Amazing.
I mean, how many people can say they are a second Olympian? I mean, Joyce, at a young age, she's done her first Olympics, and now this is her second. And she's only early 20s, so this is going to be phenomenal for her and exciting.
Yeah, a double Olympian. And of course, GB are in Pool A alongside, I would say Russia, but it's the Russian Olympic Committee, of course, isn't it? If you don't quite understand what we're talking about there, then do go and Google that, Russia banned. And these are the athletes that have proved themselves to not be involved in the sort of widespread doping. GB, of course, Kenya and New Zealand. The eyes will immediately move towards New Zealand, who would be favourites to top that pool, I would suspect. Of course, silver medalist in Rio 2016.
Yeah, they're definitely a standout team looking for medals, aren't they? But I just think, Russia have come in, they're entering on a high from winning the Rugby Europe. So, GB have got a massive opportunity here to catch them early, catch them cold. And they have shown they are beatable. So I think GB could do something special here.
And New Zealand, we just focused on it. Some unbelievable individuals, the likes of Sarah Hirady, Goss, Stacey Flula, Portia Woodman. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Can you see anybody else challenging them for that top spot in Pool A?
I mean, they are unbelievable athletes. They put themselves out there. They've been on the circuit. They've been on series for so long. But I just think, with these youngsters, these, GB that are coming through, that I really do think they compete to the highest level, and they've showed that in their clubs and, in their region. So I just think world stage it's going to look different this year because obviously you can't have crowds, but I think this could really drive them to push their standards and really show what they're about.
Yeah, I mean, since I know it hurt them very much so in Rio, losing out to Australia in that gold medal match. They have been fairly dominant on the HSBC World 7 Series since they won 7 of the last 11 events. I mean, that is quite some record, and won the series in 17, 19 and 20. But GB, from where they've come in the last 12 months, the program disbanded. Everybody lost their jobs, had to go and find new jobs. They've come back together in the last 6 months or so. It's an unbelievable story, isn't it? And it's almost, but you know what? There isn't much expectation, or perhaps there is. Just go out and play and express yourselves and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you thrive. I think you thrive under the pressure, but also when you come under an underdog, you almost have nothing to lose. All you can do is showcase what you're about. And I think the heart and the passion that these girls and dedication that they've done over the last couple of months, is just, it's now time to play. It's now time to show who they are and just allow them to play with a smile on their face. And I think that's what they're going to do, and that's when they'll excel the most.
And who in particular? I mean, I suspect you'll probably go straight to Jazz Joyce, but anyone else in that squad you're looking forward to seeing play?
Celia, she's bringing the youth in, so I'm really excited to see Celia play.
Celia Kwanzaa, yeah.
Yeah, but Jazz Joyce, obviously, she's Welsh, so I'm always going to back her. But also, you've got your Abbie Brown, Deborah Flemings. These are the girls, the standout girls that are, you're going to look to for that experience to bring along and get out the best of the team. So there's a mixture of experience. There's a great balance. So I'm really excited to see some showcase of rugby that's going to happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be wrong in saying this. I think the GB squad in previous years has possibly lacked that top end speed. It had the footwork and what have you to get around things, but actually that top end speed. I think you've got that with Jazz Joyce and, as you say, Celia Kwanzaa, and then someone like Helena Rowland and Meg Jones in the middle, controlling and orchestrating stuff. It's on paper, it's very special.
Yeah, I just think, playing against these and playing with the girls, I just think, they really have got something X factor about them. So I'm hoping that they're going to bring this to the table and we can actually see all that in action. So, yeah, really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned Russia, who will be really industrious, won't they, as you say, but off the back of that win in Rugby Europe, and they're a hugely physical side. Kenya, the other team to make up the pool, but I suspect we are looking at NZ and GB to top pool A. Would that be fair to put those words into your mouth, Shona?
Yeah, I'm 100% back in GB, and obviously, New Zealand are already coming in as a standout, sort of looking for that medal. So, I feel GB and New Zealand could actually top this pool.
Lovely. Pool B then. Canada, reigning bronze medalists, of course, alongside France, who were quarterfinalists, as were Fiji in Rio 5 years ago now, and Brazil were, of course, the host, and they managed to qualify again. Again, we're looking at Canada, really the strongest team in Pool B, Shona?
Canada have had some off-field issues, the change of the coaches. So there'll be a little bit of the unknown going on there at the moment with that team. So, it'll be interesting to see if it has affected them or if they're just going to do what Canada normally do and just have that professional sort of oomph about them and bring it to the table. So, it's the unknown for me.
Yeah. And speaking of unknown, and it is a media cliche, but we still can't get away from it. If you saw the men's Australia series in the summer, the French do have that ability to self-implode. Fiji have got France first up. That's 9:00 in Tokyo tomorrow morning. Fiji will look to start strongly, although that's not probably their strongest suit either. But that could be an absolutely crucial game in that Pool B, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think France. So sorry, that cut out and my phone was ringing.
Oh, apologies.
I was like this. Oh gosh, sorry.
You're busy late. I was just saying that France could be unpredictable, and they've got Fiji up first, and that could be a really crucial game in this pool. Neither, I suppose, have the reputation for starting particularly well, but Fiji will be pleased to have France up first.
Yeah, I mean, France, they do so much sevens, they'll be putting their hands up for the tournament sort of to get, to make a sort of a big sting in the tournament. But, the likes of Fiji, we know they like to play freely. They have got some crazy skills on show that, when I played them myself, they're just so unpredictable. And that's the thing. You have to make sure that, you're aware you're switched on for the whole time you're on that field with them, because they could pull anything out of that bag.
And France, so they, to be fair, even through the Six Nations, have kept quite a few players away from the 15s. They have dropped a few back in, but it's a really strong French squad. On paper, you would expect them to do well in this pool and really challenge. You suspect Canada would be the favourites, but between those two, really, isn't it, for topping that Pool B?
Yeah, I think it's going to be really big and important for France, and for Canada just to, stay composed and really try and top their pool there. Not overlooking obviously Fiji, because like I said, game of sevens, anything can happen. It showed it against Argentina down to sort of your six man. So anything can happen.
Yeah, indeed so. The last and final pool then, Pool C, have, of course, the reigning Olympic champions, Australia, Japan, China, one of the new teams alongside the Russian Olympic Committee, and USA, who, of course, were quarter-finalists. Now, the USA, not unexpected from them, but plenty of chat, as you'd expect from them. But they are, I don't know, I've just got a little sense about them. What about you? There's some incredible athletes.
They're just unbelievable athletes. That you took the words right out there. Athletes, unbelievable. They've got some proper power runners there, and they've got some speed. So you mix them together, you've got your ideal sort of rugby player that you'd want on the field. And it's not just your one or your two players. You've got a whole sort of team there of unbelievable athletes. So they will be ones sort of to really watch there.
And Japan, you know what you kind of expect from Japan, China, similar kind of teams?
Yeah, they're just really awkward to play against. They've got amazing great ball transfer skills, and we know they're fit athletes. So, it's China obviously haven't been in that before, so it's the first time that, them coming into the tournament, and they're coming in as the underdogs really, because no one knows anything about them, the unknown. So they could really sort of want to put a stamp on it early days, but I see Japan play the same way almost, as in that, the transferring of the skills and, the fit athletes.
Yeah, indeed. So USA have China up first, Australia against Japan. That's the sort of second chance of games there. And Australia sort of won the one in Rio. Then sort of went into the wilderness almost for a year. We know there's always the financial issues surrounding Australian rugby, although that is being shored up massively, and they're doing some great work for the women's program over there. But you've got the likes of Kaslik and Shani Williams. You are going to come across a proper team, aren't you?
Yeah, I think those two players just lead the team. They are full front runners of that team. They're what that build, and players just build around them. So, I'm really expecting them to sort of show the way to those girls that are coming through the program. And, Australia, like you said, they've done some really good things with the women's program, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
So come on then, who's the final going to be?
Do you know what? New Zealand and GB. I'm going to have to back it. I'm going to have to say.
Wow, that'll be a rerun of the pool game.
Yeah, do you know what? I just think, I don't know what, but GB are really exciting me at the moment, and I'm just so excited to watch them play tomorrow. And the standouts are New Zealand, and I just really think the sort of the build up and coming in as the underdogs, GB could really, really excel in this, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we see them and New Zealand in the final.
Oh, fantastic!
What's yours?
So it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really, really difficult. I'm just going to cut straight to New Zealand win.
Yeah, who's going to be in the final with them there?
I think it'll be a repeat of Rio.
Do you think?
Yeah, I really do. I think this is pretty much what Australia focused on for the last 5 years, and I know that how determined a character Shani Williams is.
Will the pressure get to them? That is the question. Will the pressure get?
Indeed,
anything can happen in a game of 7. So really exciting to see.
As we have seen. So, no, Shona, let's just let everybody know everything kicks off at the Tokyo Stadium at 9 a.m. local time, which is 1 in the morning over here in England, and that session goes through to 12 o'clock local time. So that'll be 4 a.m. our time. Then the second session is at 12:30 UK time through to 3:30. And then we get into day 2. All kicks off again, same time, 9 to 12, 4:30 to 6:30 local time. So that is 1 to 4 a.m., 12:30 to 3:30. And then the final is at 6 o'clock local time. So I'm just working that through. 6. That'll be 10 a.m. UK time on Saturday, the 31st of July. Hopefully, I've got those times right, and I haven't just given everybody completely and utterly duff information. But I have been trying to contact various players over there. Yeah, we did have a few players lined up. Unfortunately, none of the Australians could join us, and it's a little too hard to get a couple of New Zealand players over the line with us today. But look, thank you very much to Abbie Brown. Thank you so much to you, Shona Powell-Hughes, for your time. Enjoy the next few days, and we will be back next week to get all the reaction to what hopefully will be a brilliant few days of Olympic Sevens action. See you next time on the WRP.